This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Gamefly. Go to gamefly.com/Destructoid for your free trial membership.
Coming up on Destructoid, Hitman 5, possibly a thing that's happening. Duke Nukem Forever has some really offensive multiplayer options, and something about birds that Tara wants to say. All this and more coming up on Destructoid.
Welcome everyone to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Not too excited to hear about my birds today.
I don't want to talk about birds anymore. I always talk about
we'll
birds.
get into that later in the show. But before we start, let's take a second to check in with Nick Chester. I'm told that he has some releases for us.
It must be a Monday.
Crytek's long-awaited shooter Crysis 2 officially hits PC, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360 this week. The game puts players in a powered-up nanosuit to fight an enemy threat that has rained hell upon New York City. Also, here's a picture of a Crysis 2 shake weight. Yeah. More LEGO Star Wars goodness is available in the form of LEGO Star Wars 3 Clone Wars, based off the popular Cartoon Network animated series. And Sony teases gamers by putting Jak and Daxter in a game this week. But that game's not a new Jak and Daxter. It's PlayStation Move Heroes, a collection of motion-controlled minigames wrapped in a narrative that also features Ratchet, Clank, and Sly Cooper, along with his pal Bentley. Your Sims can now be kings, queens, knights, and more in The Sims Medieval. And the 4-player co-op shooter Ghostbusters Sanctum of Slime hits Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation Network, and PC this week. Be sure to check out the internet every week for Destructoid on releases.internets.
Thank you, Nicholas. On to the news. As you guys probably know, the 3DS is coming out on March 27th. That's next Sunday, I believe. And if you're still undecided on whether or not you want to pick one up, Nintendo put a bunch of 3DS demo kiosks all around the country. They're up right now, so if you want to go check it out in person before you buy it and see their weird display that has corny-looking pictures of people holding their DSs like this and playing them, because everybody does that.
I love Nintendo's marketing. It's always just a bunch of pretty attractive people in a big white room, and they're always so stoked on whatever they're doing.
Seriously, I wish America were more like that. If you want to find out where the nearest kiosk near you is, you can go to nintendo.com/3ds/events/locator, or you can just Google 3DS locator, and it's like the first result that pops up. I was actually kind of surprised. I looked, and there weren't any demo booths anywhere in San Francisco.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was one. They just haven't. They said they're adding more. That they keep adding more to the maps on there. I heard somebody say there's one at Fisherman's Wharf, but I don't know. This isn't
really
this isn't
the
local
closest
news,
one I said was in Emory, but it's coming out in a week.
They're gonna pop up. They're gonna show up. I mean, everyone's gonna have them. You can go to your friend's house and play his. So.
Yeah, Nick Chester actually is in the process of writing an article right now. I don't know if it's come out already by the time the show airs, but it's talking about how he said that DS games don't look so great on the 3DS.
Yeah.
He noticed a significant decrease in quality on them.
Yeah.
So if you want to check it out, or maybe make sure if you're planning on playing a lot of DS games on your 3DS, maybe they'll have that set up at the kiosk. I don't really know, but
who needs a kiosk when you work at Destructoid?
We all got free 3DSs.
Yeah.
And fur carrying cases made from ermine. It's not true. We don't.
I don't even know what that is.
You played with them.
Yeah, we have played with them. Yes,
they're
we
fun.
have.
They're neat.
But you guys haven't, probably, so check it out, maybe.
So 3DS
That's all I have to say about 3DS.
That's exciting.
Tell us about
Do you guys like the Hitman games? Because it looks like Hitman 5 is happening. The folks over at Save and Quit Gaming have done some detective work to dig up clues. They have like a paper trail of clues that led them to what looks like a screenshot for Hitman 5. And the screenshot is, well, it leaves a little bit to be desired. It's a teaser. So rumor has it something's going to be announced officially at E3 this year, so get excited. Yeah, so the last Hitman game was 2006 Blood Money. Been a while. Been a few years now, 5 years. I played Hitman Contracts for a second, and it's, as far as games where you kill people go, it's a little bit more tactical than I was hoping for.
I kind of like that.
I'm really stupid. I mean, it's a game where you can go up and get guys with a syringe in the neck, and then or garrote wire them, which is you gotta be kind of sneaky, and I'm kind of like, where's the bazookas? I kind of want a bazooka.
I just want to shoot people.
Yeah, I'm a stupid person.
I understand that. It can be tricky trying to get down to those things. Moving on, have you guys heard about this game, From Dust? It's a sandbox simulation game. It's got a very kind of artsy feel to it. Ubisoft announced it at E3 2010 last year, but back then it was called Project Dust. It's designed by Eric Shahi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's a French guy, and he programmed Another World, which is that old 1991 SNES game. Players assume in From Dust, players assume a godlike role to protect this island and its inhabitants, and you control things like sand and water and lava, and you have to fight off natural disasters to keep the people alive. Ubisoft actually held a preview event for this last week. There are a bunch of new screenshots now. We couldn't make it to the preview event. I don't know where it was. It was somewhere not here. But there's like 10 or 12 new screenshots that make it look pretty awesome. It's going to be available next year for a digital download on PSN, XBLA, and Steam. So stay tuned for more news on that as it comes. I'm particularly excited about that.
Really amazing, and I was kind of shocked to hear that it's a downloadable title.
Yeah.
The first I saw that was on Reddit, and it was just like, could this be the best game of all time ever? And I was like, let's find out. And I watched the trailer, and I was like, I don't know. It looks really, really good, though.
Yeah, it's got a super artistic feel to it, you know. So
it's made by the French.
Mm-hmm, of course, yeah. So video games and art, booyah, Roger Ebert, take that. Okay, why don't we take a moment to thank our sponsor. GameFly is the largest online video game rental service and offers you a choice from over 7,000 new and classic titles across all consoles and handhelds. With plans starting at $15.95 a month, GameFly members can rent 1 to 4 games at a time and keep them for as long as they like. There are no late fees, due dates, and shipping is always free. Once you're done playing a game, send it back and GameFly will send you the next available game on your list. If you really like the game you're playing, simply click Keep It on the GameFly website and the game is yours at a discounted price. GameFly will even mail you the case and manuals free of charge. And Destructoid fans get a 15-day free trial when they go to gamefly.com/Destructoid. Back to the news. Max, I have some very important news about Angry Birds. You may want to sit down for this.
Wait, they make important news about Angry Birds? Fucking go ahead.
Okay. As you know, Max, I like video games about birds. Angry Birds, Tiny Birds, it makes no difference. Okay. It's all good. So imagine my surprise when I heard that SourceBits, a mobile app developer, called Angry Birds the Super Mario Brothers of this generation. While I agree that Angry Birds was revolutionary, it was the fastest selling app on iOS, in iOS history, actually. But that doesn't mean that it carries with it the same breadth of emotional response that we experienced the first time we inserted that Nintendo cartridge. You're laughing.
Man, those Angry Birds, they have some passionate emotions, but they're nothing compared to those fucking hallucinogen-popping Italian
men. Like, so swarthy. Mobile gaming may be dominating the market right now, but let's face it, at the end of the day, it's a disposable activity. It's not what you look forward to on Christmas morning. It's what you play while you're standing in line at IKEA for 2 goddamn hours this weekend. And then the customer service people say, oh, Miss Long, it'll just be a few minutes.
Did you go to IKEA this weekend or something?
Okay, look, the point is...
I don't care. I was asking to be polite. I really don't care
Angry
about
Birds is cool and all, but it's all about Tiny Wings now.
Yeah, Tiny Wings, it's the new Angry Birds.
Yeah, it's the new Angry Birds.
My buddy was telling me about that, and he was like, yeah, you're a bird. I'm like, wait. Okay, it's a bird, a game on the iOS, and what exactly is this bird's, like, demeanor? And he was like, I don't know, he's like a bird. I was like, is he an angry bird? And he's like, he seems a little bit pissy. I don't know.
Really? If I were to use one word to describe him, it would be jubilant.
Jubilant.
He looks happy.
Jubilant birds.
Jubilant birds. You're welcome, Robio. If you don't know, Tiny Wings recently surpassed Angry Birds as the most purchased game on the App Store, which is pretty impressive considering that Angry Birds has sold over 100 million copies across all platforms since it came out. I think like probably a good 12 to 15 million of those were on the App Store. You can nab Tiny Wings for 99 cents on the App Store right now, or if you're like me and rue the day that you ever bought an Android phone, there's a clone of the game called Dillo Hills coming to Android soon. Oh. Is it because it sounds like dildo? Yeah, okay. I totally read it as Dildo Hills the first time, not gonna lie.
Sounds like a fucked up Sonic the Hedgehog level. Welcome to Dildo Hills. You better run, Sonic.
Okay. That's coming to, I'm crying now. That's coming to Android soon, hopefully like within a week or so. And it's supposed to be exactly like Tiny Birds, just with a tiny armadillo instead. I don't believe it's being made by the same company though.
Yeah, I'm sure
somebody's capitalizing on that franchise fast.
That's how the Android
they are
market
bringing
works.
Tiny Wings to Android, just not anytime soon, from what I hear.
Okay, well, speaking of games that people really don't care about, here's some news about a game that some people still care about. Duke Nukem Forever, some news about the multiplayer just surfaced. Gearbox confirmed that the jetpack would be included in multiplayer, not in single player. Totally called it my preview when I wrote that last month. So multiplayer includes a whole lot of leveling and stats, if that's your thing. Potential upgrades are yet to be shown, but I imagine it's going to be like different tank tops or sunglasses or something stupid like that.
Nice gold chain.
Yeah, that's Duke style, totally. So far, the Xbox 360 multiplayer is limited to 8-player matches. One returning weapon from the original multiplayer in the game is the Holoduke. You know, it's a clone of yourself. It's a hologram, but this time it will cloak the user when you put it out. So you know, there's not just 2 Duke Nukems running around. That's like you're actually invisible, which sounds really cool. Fans of the original multiplayer will be happy to hear that Duke Burger map is returning. That's a hamburger restaurant that apparently Duke Nukem founded. But this time everyone's shrunken down, so you're like jumping around on giant mayonnaise jars and shit. The modes of multiplayer include Duke Match, Team Duke Match, Hail to the King, which is King of the Hill, and Capture the Babe, which is capture the flag but with a woman. So, yeah.
All right, time for my reward.
So apparently, while Duke is carrying this babe around, she will occasionally freak out, and according to one source, this will require Duke to slap her in the face. Destructoid got a mysterious tip, inside information, that says he actually just slaps her on the ass playfully, which is still horribly offensive, but it's in a funnier way this time.
That's how you subdue women when they're being insolent. It's the
I
best
slap
way.
my girlfriend in the ass all the time. Like I sneak up on her and I'm like, you know, just jump out like a ninja.
It's true. He slaps me on the ass
I'm
too,
like
all
an
the time.
ass ninja. I just jump out and do that. But you don't hit girls in the face. That's just stupid.
Yeah, that wouldn't
Girls
be funny
have
in a
pretty
video
faces,
game at
you know,
all.
so don't hit girls. But I'm sure that someone is going to say that this game encourages hitting women. But I'm sure there are going to be a lot of complaints about the things in this game. You can pick up feces and throw it at people.
You can't get mad at this game for being misogynistic.
Yeah, getting mad at this.
It's the entire purpose.
It's like South Park. It's like it's a fucking offensive game. It offends everybody.
exactly.
So anyway, multiplayer demo is planned to appear before launch, but no official release date on that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's all for today's news, but we have a special surprise coming on Wednesday that may or may not involve a new set. Right, Max?
Is it a new set?
It's a new set.
We finished the new set.
Actually, we didn't finish it
Okay.
totally. It's a dry run. It's a first draft. You guys, we want to just get your opinions. Let us know
I mean,
what
we
you
just
think.
moved in. The box is everywhere. What
Yeah.
we've had is takeout, but I mean, really, come by and just check it out.
If you
It's
guys
lovely.
could just send us housewarming gifts, that'd
Yeah.
be great. I could use a new laptop. Just saying. Just putting that out there. You know what? We didn't talk about today. Actually, was your Google Chrome netbook.
Oh, we'll get to that at some point.
Okay. We won't talk about that today. I'm just kidding. Teaser. Let's see what else we got. That's it, right? For today's news?
That's all for today's news, folks. How are you?
How are you
How
doing?
you doing? Let us know in the comments.
Does
are you doing
anybody
okay?
ever ask you guys how you were doing? No.
Guess what, Internet? We give a fuck. So,
At least 2.
take it easy.
Take it easy. That's mine.
Shut up.